If you want money to really start flowing into your life, you only need to do one thing, just one, but pay very close attention, because here's the thing. It has nothing to do with manifesting, visualizing money, or waiting for the universe to work overtime for you. Today we'll discuss something more practical. If you apply exactly what I'm going to teach you, I guarantee you'll start noticing results in no time. I'm so sure about this that if it doesn't work, I'll take this video down. I promised you a secret to attract money in a consistent way, not that stroke of luck that shows up one day and disappears the next. Not that typical. I manifested money once, but I don't even know how it happened. We'll leave that aside. In this video, we won't discuss manifestation. Let's discuss a specific habit. I learned it from one of the people who knows the most about people's relationship with money, Ken Honda, author of Happy Money. Many people know him as the Zen millionaire. A large part of the way I manage my finances today came from his teachings. And I also shared this particular principle with my family and the people I care about the most. Here I'm going to summarize the essentials for you. So stay until the end, because the best is yet to come. And before we continue, write in the comments, I have happy money. Because yes, money is energy. And the sooner you change the way you see it, the sooner the way it comes to you will change. If you spend the whole day saying that making money is impossible, that everything is very difficult, that only bad people get rich, or that the system is against you, guess what you will keep finding? Exactly that. Not because there's a conspiracy, but because your mind ends up looking for evidence to confirm what it already believes. When I understood that principle, my relationship with money changed completely. And now, I'm going to give you the main secret. Although, on second thought, I could save it for the end. No, better not. Let's get to the main point right away. And if you stay until the end, you'll still get a detail that makes all the difference. The biggest secret is this: money ends up treating you the way you treat people. Think about one of Jesus' most well-known teachings. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. It wasn't just a rule for getting along better. It was a law about how life works. True success begins when you do good without calculating what you're going to get in return. When Jesus said the poor would always be among us, many thought only of economic poverty. But he was also talking about another kind of poverty, the poverty of the mind, the heart, and listen to me carefully. Most people who never build wealth are too focused on themselves. If you want abundance, you need to provide value. You need to help. Look at the great entrepreneurs and billionaires. Most of them create foundations, launch projects, or seek to impact thousands or millions of people. Yes, some of them will have their flaws. No one hands out angel wings with a bank statement. But they understand something that many overlook. Wealth grows when you create value for others. Henry Ford used to say that if all the money in the world were distributed equally among everyone, in less than a year, it would be back in the same hands. And it's not just about knowing how to manage money. It also has to do with the mindset you act from. If your life revolves only around yourself, it's unlikely that life will find reasons to open more doors for you. That's why discovering your purpose is so important. Because in the end, a purpose always involves solving a problem, improving someone's life, or helping others in a concrete way. Your purpose is about solving a problem that you're truly passionate about, in improving other people's lives by doing something you would enjoy even if no one applauded you. That's a true purpose. And here's something curious. When you stop obsessing over making money and focus on serving, money starts coming to you on its own. Why? Because, as Ken Honda explains, happy money is attracted to generous people with an abundance mindset and a desire to contribute. I've had the opportunity to meet multimillionaires, and I discovered something that surprised me. The more money they have, the more eager they are to help. And in addition, they tend to be incredibly humble. On the other hand, when someone has a huge need to show power or is obsessed with accumulating, they often fall into selfishness. And from that place, you can end up making money. Yes, but you rarely build wealth that also gives you peace. Why does Ken Honda insist so much on helping others? Because when you help by doing something you love, you stop working just for money. You start to generate value naturally. And that's where money finds a reason to stay. So keep this idea in mind. Don't chase money. Pursue a mission that excites you so much that improving other people's lives becomes part of your identity. Money will come as a consequence, not as a goal. Jesus summarized it in a very simple way. Love your neighbor as yourself. If you really want to prosper, stop only asking yourself what you can get and start asking yourself what you can contribute. Because that's the difference. Most people go through life thinking about themselves. Very few wake up asking themselves, who can I help today? And personally, that has been one of the keys to everything I have built. Every morning I ask myself the same question. How can I help someone end the day a little better through a video? What did the version of me from 10 years ago need to hear? What message could help someone who feels completely lost today turn their life around? That same intention is behind every project, every mentoring program, and every course I develop. Not because I'm perfect, but because I am clear about why I do what I do. That's why the first big lesson is this. Find something you can devote your life to because it helps other people. That intention behind each action has a huge impact. Every time you go shopping, pay attention because it may seem small, but it has a huge impact. Every time you go shopping, try not to make everything just for yourself. No.
Intenta que no todo sea para ti.
It doesn't mean you can never treat yourself. Of course you can. But get used to bringing a small gift for someone you care about from time to time. That's why, first, get used to bringing from time to time a small gift for someone you care about. You don't need to spend a fortune. A simple gift is worth much more than an expensive one given out of obligation. Understand this. Money is meant to create well-being, make life easier, and generate happy moments. If everything you earn ends up revolving around you, your whims, and just filling your own pockets, you run the risk of falling into an emptiness that no bank balance can fill. That's why you see so many famous and successful people who have wealth and recognition but are completely lost inside. They discovered too late that accumulating things is not the same as feeling fulfilled. True satisfaction comes when you share. Because if you only focus on material things, you end up neglecting the most important part, who you are inside. Everything is connected. And even though that phrase sounds overused, it's still true. One of the most valuable pieces of advice I learned from Ken Honda was this. Use part of your money to make the people around you happy. Why? Because every time you give with joy, your mind stops acting from a place of scarcity and starts seeing itself as someone who lives in abundance. And no, it's not about giving away everything you have. It's about showing yourself with small gestures that you live from a place of abundance, not from fear of loss. That's where things start to change. Little by little, your relationship with money. Remember something. Your subconscious mind is building your future all the time, based on the thoughts you repeat the most. That's why, if you can help more people, do it. Because the more value you create, the more reasons you give money to come into your life. Money doesn't like to stay stagnant. It's like water. When water stops flowing, it ends up going bad. But when it flows freely, it gives life to everything it touches. The same thing happens with money. If you just hide it, hoard it out of fear, or cling to it desperately, you break that natural flow. And as long as you don't understand that money is also a form of energy and motion, it will be very difficult to build a healthy relationship with it. Now, there are those who say that money is bad. And here I want to make a brief aside. Many people believe that the Bible condemns wealth. But if you look at what Jesus really taught, you'll find that he never said being rich was a bad thing. That interpretation came later. Jesus never said, rich people are bad people. What he did teach was something very different. By their fruits, you will know them. That is to say, what mattered was not how much someone had, but what they did with it. He also said a phrase that often generates a lot of controversy. To him who has, more will be given, and to him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. It sounds unfair until you understand the parable of the talents. The story goes that a man, before going on a journey, distributed some of his possessions among 3 servants. He gave 5 talents to one of them, to another 2, and to the third 1. Imagine those talents as money. The first 2 invested what they received and multiplied it. The third one did something different. Out of fear of losing it, he buried the talent and did absolutely nothing with it. When the owner returned, he congratulated those who had increased what they had received. But he reprimanded the one who left his talent hidden and unproductive. And he took that talent to give it to the one who already had 10. The teaching wasn't that the rich deserved to be richer just because. The teaching was much deeper. If you waste opportunities, if you let fear paralyze your talents, or if you never develop what you've been given, you end up losing even what was already in your hands. On the other hand, when you grow your abilities and use them to serve others, life usually opens up new opportunities for you. That is the real message. Make the most of the gifts you have. Don't bury them. Don't waste them. Wealth, from this perspective, doesn't come only from money. It comes from developing what you received and using it to create value. That's why reducing everything to the idea that money is bad is just scratching the surface. There are people with a lot of money who do a tremendous amount of good. And there are also people with a lot of money who do harm. Just as there are people with very few resources who are extraordinary and others who are not. Money doesn't determine who you are. It only amplifies what was already inside you. The real question isn't how much money you have. The question is, how do you get it? Are you developing your talents? Are you creating value? Are you helping others? Or is all your energy only focused on satisfying your own desires? Because in the end, we all end up facing that same question. Why are you here? There's a phrase that sums up this idea very well. Anyone who does not live to serve will hardly find a purpose for living. Of course, you should think about yourself, grow, and take care of your well-being. But if you really want to prosper, you need to broaden your focus. When you discover a way to help others with what you do best, your relationship with money changes completely. And that's also reflected in many passages of the Gospels. Jesus didn't reject people for having wealth. What he questioned was the way some people obtained it or the way they used it. The problem was never the money. The problem was always what each person decided to do with it. And before I finish, I want you to keep this last idea in mind, because it could be the difference between chasing money your whole life or becoming someone money comes looking for. Stop constantly looking outward. Stop comparing yourself to the person who has more followers, to the neighbor who has a better car, to that friend who seems to be moving ahead faster than you. Because one of the biggest traps in life is thinking that someone else's success means your failure. It's not like that. Each person has their own path, their own pace, and their own lessons to learn. While you're looking at someone else's life, you might be ignoring the opportunities that are right in front of you. The right question isn't, why does that person have more than I do? The right question is, what can I learn from that person to become a better version of myself? Because a scarcity mindset looks at other people's success with resentment, but an abundance mindset observes it with curiosity. Someone with an abundance mindset thinks, if someone was able to achieve it, then there's a possibility. Now I need to figure out what I can improve about myself to get closer to that result. That small change in thinking can completely transform your life. Because wealth begins long before it shows up in your bank account. It starts with the way you think. It starts with the way you use your time. It starts with the small decisions you make when no one is watching. Ask yourself this: what are you doing every day to become the person capable of sustaining the life you want? Because many people want more money, but they don't want to become the person who can handle it. They want financial freedom, but they are still slaves to their bad habits. They want abundance, but they keep nurturing thoughts of fear, complaint, and despair. And here's an important truth: money amplifies what already exists inside you. If a person without discipline gets a lot of money, they'll probably find a way to lose it. If a person with bad habits gets a great opportunity, they probably won't know how to take advantage of it. But if a person has vision, values, discipline, and a clear purpose, money becomes a powerful tool to create something much greater. That's why you shouldn't focus all your energy on chasing money. Focus your energy on building a version of yourself that is capable of attracting opportunities. Learn, improve, develop skills, meet new people, learn to communicate better, learn to sell, learn to solve problems. Because the world doesn't pay you for how badly you want something. The world rewards the value you are able to deliver. And this is something that many people don't want to hear. Sometimes you don't need more luck. You need more preparation. You need to increase your capacity. You need to stop asking yourself, why am I not getting more money? And start asking yourself, who do I need to become to generate more value? That question completely changes the direction of your life. Because when you develop skills, no one can take them away from you. They can take your money away. Circumstances can change. Crises can appear. But what you learn, what you build inside yourself, and the person you become always travel with you. That's why you should invest in yourself first. Invest in your mind. Invest in your growth. Invest in your knowledge. Because the greatest investment you can make is not in something external. It's in the person who gets up every morning and decides to improve. And when you start to grow, everything around you will grow as well. Your family, your relationships, your opportunities, your ability to help, your impact. Because in the end, true wealth is not just about having more. It's about being able to give more. Having the ability to help someone when they need it. Creating something that improves the lives of others, leaving a positive mark. That's the difference between simply accumulating money and building true abundance. So don't be afraid to thrive. Don't be afraid to want a better life. Don't be afraid to have wealth. The question was never whether you deserve to have abundance. The real question is, what will you do with it when it arrives? Well, money in the hands of someone with a purpose can become an incredible tool to change lives. But money in the hands of someone who is just trying to fill a void will never be enough. You should focus on your inner self first. Build your character. Find your purpose. Help others. Develop your talents. And let money be a consequence of the person you are becoming. Because when you understand this, you stop chasing wealth out of desperation and start creating it with intention. And that's when the real change happens. That's when you stop trying to survive and start creating a life of greatness.